Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Floodlights Camera Action. From Timothy Castagna to Timothy Chalamet, we look to bridge the gap between film and football and tell you exactly what films you should be watching and what ones to avoid. I'm Jack, but a podcast is only because it's co-host, so every week I'm joined by my good friend Veronica to work for the do's and don'ts of film watching. Veronica, how are you, and how is your pasta?
I'm good. My pasta's good. I don't know what you're talking about, actually. I don't want pasta, but yeah, it is good.
It's just a figment of my imagination. Now, before we get into the episode, make sure to keep an eye on our YouTube channel, which is just Floodlights Camera Action, as we're going to start posting some bonus content, including talking through our entire physical media collection. So we're looking at records, films, books, the whole jazz. Just keep an eye on that. That should be coming over the next week or so. Now, how is today's episode going to work? We are going to preview 2025. So we're going to start with our letterbox wraps for last year. Then we're going to move into our most anticipated films of this year, as well as some guest submissions. So you'll hear from some former guests on what their most anticipated films are. And then we are going to wrap up with the BAFTA predictions because the nominations have come out recently. Now, Veronica, do you want me to start my letterbox wrapped, or do you want to lead?
Yeah, you can go first.
Well, she's definitely not eating her pasta. I will go first. Now, I made 369 diary entries. I watched 671 hours of film, which is slightly concerning. What else have I done? Average films watched was 30.8 a month and 7.1 a week, so just over one a day, which is what the target was. My first film of the year was Doctor Strangelove. My last film of the year was After Hours. My 50th of the year was Only God Forgives. 100th was Ex Machina. 150th was From Dusk Till Dawn. 200th was the Cillian Murphy led rom-com, watching the detectives. I can't remember what that film was. 250 was After Hours. 300 was Being John Malkovich. 350 was I'm Not There. My most watched films of the year on three respectfully was After Hours and Punch Drunk Love, with seeing The Holdovers twice, Strangelove twice, Everybody Wants Some twice, the very underrated Fallen Leaves twice, Dune twice, and Poor Things twice. My most watched genre was drama, then comedy and thriller, which sums me up pretty well. Themes-wise, we're looking at crude humour and satire as my most watched. My nano genre, Weird Dream Journey. That's my most watched nano genre, whatever the hell that means. What is up next? My most watched actors. We'll do top 5. In 5th, John C. Reilly with 8, George Clooney with 9, Philip Seymour Hoffman with 14, Tom Cruise with 16, and Ryan Gosling with 18. Directors will go top 5 again. Michael Mann with 6, Richard Linklater with 7, M. Night Shyamalan with 7, Stanley Kubrick with 8, and Paul Thomas Anderson with a whopping 14, which is, we can all agree, quite a lot. My most liked review on Letterboxd was my Anora review with 10 likes, so really putting up big numbers there. My highest average rating watched film was Paths of Glory, which I only gave 3 stars to. And my lowest average rated film I saw was The Animal, which is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. The oldest film I watched was The Man Who Knew Too Much, the original by Alfred Hitchcock. Films I rated higher than average. I gave 4.5 to Trap when its average rating is 2.69, which is fucking mental. And films I rated lower than average, I gave 1 star to Sean Baker's directorial debut, Tangerine, which has an average rating of 3.88. I think that is just about everything. Oh yeah, most films I watched per country was the US of A, and some big films I've not seen are things like The Godfather, The Wild Robot, and others. I think that kind of wraps that up quite nicely. Veronica, can you talk us through your letterbox wrap?
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing top 5s like you because I haven't watched that many films.
Yeah,
I
I was
watched
speedy.
188. That's 321.9 hours. There was a week where I watched 16 films. March 4th, 10th.
That's great numbers. Was that Venice or no, March?
No, I don't know what.
What are you doing? What are you cooking?
You know what? I don't know. It was the week after I watched 1 film in a week, and 2 weeks after I watched 0. So I just went.
Thing is, that's also before the podcast started.
Yeah.
I will say one feature I wish they
know.
added to the letterbox wrapped was, you know how what do you call it, on like a Spotify app they do like you're in the top 0.04% of whatever. I wish they
Yeah.
did that, but not in terms of specifics. I wish they went like, you're in the top 5% for amount of films watched in the year, because I want to know who am I, what competition am I beating off here? Am I
Yeah,
really
but
good at watching
to
films
be
or really
fair,
bad?
like, first of all, it doesn't mean you're good at watching films.
Yeah, yeah,
Second of all, people lie. Like,
yeah.
there's people
That's
who
fair.
put on Twitter like, "Oh, I've watched 2,000 films this year." It's like, shut up. No, you
It's
didn't.
like the Fiat
And if
500
you
girls
did,
during
you
COVID,
have an actual issue, and you should be imprisoned.
or
Actually,
as Donald Trump would say, get a job. Or
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
we don't endorse Donald Trump, but we do endorse that
Anyway,
specific quote.
let's carry on. So, 188 was 15.7 a month, 3.6 a week. And the day I watched most films was Saturday. 38 films on a Saturday. Actually, 35 films on a Monday. So Monday and Saturday were my film watching
Yeah, I
days.
think mine was Friday. I forgot to mention it, but mine was Friday.
The first film I saw on the 1st of January was The Apartment, which is like the best New Year's Day film you can ever watch. It is the absolute best New Year's Day film. I don't care. My diary milestones are, oh my god, I hate them so much because I don't know, I don't pay attention to when my milestones will show up. So my 50th film was Bleeding Love, which is that film that I got confused for Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh
Then
god, yeah, that's a throwback.
uh, my 100th film was the Mbappe BBC documentary. And then my 150th was Busty Cops 2.
Nothing is better summed up this podcast than the 150th film you watched that year was the much maligned Busty Cops 2. Are you ever going to watch Busty Cops 1, or is
Yeah.
it just
No.
we're just gonna no? Why would
No,
you
I'm
need
never.
to? You've already had the full Busty
Oh,
Cops
exactly.
experience.
Yeah, my last film was Eyes Wide Shut on the 29th of December, which I think first and last film were pretty good. The milestones, let's just not talk about. Most watched films I have with 3 watches: Hitman by Richard Linklater featuring Glenn Powell and Adria Arjona, which is one of my favourite films of last year. Eurotrip I watched 3 times as well, in 3 different groups of people because it's just such a fun comedy. I watched Anora twice, The Substance twice, Long Legs twice, Kinds of Kindness twice, and Anyone But You twice. You know what? Let's not
A
talk about
bunch
it.
of classics. Or is that only for
Yeah,
Charlie
just all
Fraser?
the
Friend of
classics.
the show, Charlie Fraser. She's not our friend, but she should be.
Well, Glenn Powell's a friend of the show. Glenn Powell's a friend of the show.
I'd say,
And Sydney
Sydney
Sweeney.
Sweeney. Yeah,
Yeah, both of
and
them. And
they're
Charlie
the only
Fraser. There you
friends.
go.
Yeah, Charlie
Okay.
Fraser is like
Well,
the angelic figure of this podcast.
yeah, the mascot. Okay,
No,
genres.
we're her mascots. Let's be serious. We're
Okay. Yeah,
her
we're her
mascots.
cheerleaders.
That's
I
an
feel like we're
image.
cheerleaders for so many people, actually.
Yeah, people that don't
Anyway,
need cheerleading, we are their cheerleaders.
yeah. Okay. So genres: I watched 80 drama films, 71 comedies, 42 romances. Most watched was USA, obviously, 141, UK 45, France 14. Big up the French, I guess. Interestingly, actually, I just want to mention Czech Republic 3 films. Interesting.
Well, I looked at
Um,
that on my figures, and
what
it's
is it?
well, it's like I clicked on like Turkey, for
Oh,
example,
it's
and it was
I
a
just
Brit,
watched
and it,
Eurotrip 3 times. That's why, by the way.
yeah, and it was, and yeah, that makes sense, and it was a British film. It's like, I don't, is it like filming locations is included, or
I think it is. It is more location, and I think it's like
yeah,
crew included as well as the
that makes
cast and
sense.
things.
I should pay
Um.
attention. What's the weirdest nation I've had? North Korea? No, not North Korea. That'd be
Okay.
funny though.
Well.
Austria. One Austrian film watched before Sunrise. That
Wow.
makes sense. I'm really diverse on this podcast.
Yeah, most watch was English. And 7 French films. So that's I'm very I'm a very good film watcher for watching French films, obviously. Yeah, that's not important. Themes and nano genres. Themes: 28 films about moving relationship stories. Yikes.
Wow, big year for you.
Oh no. Nano genres. I know why it's amusing and crude because I watched like all the American Pies, and I watched Eurotrip 3 times. So
and Busty Cops 2.
I don't even think that's part of that,
Are you
actually.
fucking kidding me? It's crude. Have you?
No, it's not
Isn't
part of that.
isn't the
It's not
poster of the film
amusing.
just a woman's pair of tits?
Yeah,
That
but it's not
feels.
amusing.
Is it not? Is it like? Do they
No.
play it straight?
Yeah.
Oh god, I need to watch this
Well,
film.
actually, they don't play it straight all the time, but
It's on the net. Yeah, yeah.
Um.
Yeah, good from you.
Anyway.
Let's move on.
No, well, I'm not finished.
No, I meant from the Busty Cops 2
Oh,
chat.
okay.
I'm not
Okay,
not
yeah.
saying just yeah.
I'm interested
Carry
in.
on. Carry on, just no
Okay,
Busty
well,
Cops chat.
my most watched actor was Glenn Powell with 5 films, obviously, because he's a friend of the show. And then Jason Biggs and Sean William Scott, because like I said, I watched all the American Pie films. Highest rated, there's just a ton of them and I don't really care. Directors, actually, number 1 was Richard Linklater, so you'll be happy about that. I watched 5 of
Big
his
yeah,
films.
big Richard Linklater. Have you seen Everybody Wants Some yet? Or are you refusing?
No, I'll watch
It's got a
it.
Glenn Powell in it.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Then 2 directors I watched 3 films of, which was Yorgos Lanthimos and Coralie Fargiat, which is the Substance director. And I went back and watched her films. What else? My most liked review was 8 likes. Whoa. June Part 2. Highest average was the Kendrick Lamar concert that he did with loads of other people.
Is that a Big Steppers tour?
No, it was the one he
Oh,
did this
I
year when
thought.
he was hating on
Oh,
Drake.
yeah. I really took a gamble there. That's the only one. That's the only
Yeah, no.
concert of his I knew. So you win some,
Lowest
you lose some.
average film was 2025 The World Enslaved by a Virus, which has an average rating of 1.2, and it's rubbish.
Wow.
Most popular was La La Land. The most obscure was In the Middle, which is like a referee documentary that I don't think anyone's watched. Oldest film I watched was City Lights by Charles Chaplin, 1931. And that's pretty much it. I think. Yeah, that's everything.
Wow. So all in all, what a bloody great year for film. I think like we did a full review of every 2024 film, but I I I think 2024 is actually an extremely underrated year for film, and I think it's one that further down the line people look back on and go, Jesus Christ! Like there's been amazing dramas, comedies, romance films, science fiction's had a big year. I thought 2023 was good, but I think 2024 is just a really good level. Do you agree?
However,
Do you disagree?
if we end
Oh
up
God,
having Emilia Perez as the Oscar winner for Best Picture, people may not look back fondly on the year. So
would it?
let's make sure
Yeah.
that doesn't happen.
The thing is, we're gonna have to watch it because it'll
Please
be
make
not.
Nora
It's
win.
because it's gonna get nominated.
I don't. I know I have to watch it, and I am gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I might even
I'll
watch it
only watch
today,
it if
but
it
I
gets.
don't want to
What?
watch it. I really don't want to watch
Yeah,
it.
I'll only watch it if it gets nominated for Best Picture. I think
Yeah,
that's a
but
fair
it
system.
is. That will
Yeah, I
happen.
know. Makes
Oh.
no sense. Now from 2024 to 2025. I've collated a list of 10 films I'm very excited for, and Veronica's collated a list, as ever, of about 82. So I'll do my 10 very quickly. No particular order, just ones I quite fancy. Number 1, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Over the last week or so, have gone back and watched all of the Mission Impossible films. Previously, I'd not seen Fallout, so I'd not seen the last two, but I think Mission Impossible is one of the best action franchises of all time, and I think Mission Impossible Fallout is one of the best action films of all time. Tom Cruise is a legend. You've got people like oh god, what's her name? What's her name, Veronica? The new woman that got introduced in Dead Reckoning, who
Hayley
played
Atwell.
Haley Atwell. I was gonna say Haley Steinfeld. I was like, no, that's not right. Haley Atwell is in it.
Schmeek
Other
more over here. Jeez.
yeah,
Obsessed with Haley Steinfeld, huh?
I'm more obsessed with Josh Allen than Haley Steinfeld because I'm a Bills fan. But anyway, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, the whole crew. Very excited for that. And the trailer looks phenomenal. Next up is A Complete Unknown, which I'm seeing tomorrow. This has been on my radar for a long, long time. I'm a big Bob Dylan fan, specifically 60s and 70s Bob Dylan. Obviously, this film covers the mid to late 60s. Very, very excited. Tim Chalamet seems to get a lot of Oscar buzz. I don't think he'll win, and nor do I think he'll deserve to win, because for me, the two clear front runners, for me anyway, are Common Domingo for Sing Sing and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice.
Daniel Craig for Queer.
He would be in my band too, which is like him alongside like Adrian Brody. I've not seen a British yet, but like when it gets that much buzz, it probably deserves to be nominated. Yeah, my band one is very much Coleman and Sebastian, but a lot of good male leading performance. Anyway, obviously got Monica Barbero as Joan Baez, Elle Fanning, who I'm actually not a huge fan of Elle Fanning. I've seen her in a few bad things, and kind of seen her put in some bad performances, but she plays Sylvie. Who else is in there? Boyd Holbrook is Johnny Cash. Ed Norton, who is one of my favourites, is Pete Seeger. This has got the only downside is I recently watched Walk the Line, which is the Johnny Cash biopic directed by James Mangold. James Mangold is directing a complete unknown. That does make me slightly nervous because Walk the Line is a terrible film. But I've got really good expectations about this, and I'm very hopeful and excited to see it tomorrow. Next up is the much delayed but much anticipated Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson. Bong Joon-ho, I believe, is the director. I can't remember if that's spot on, but close enough. Is essentially a science fiction film, seemingly quite funny as well, about a man who agrees to clone himself and go on, jobs where he keeps dying. This looks very funny. Trailer is excellent. Next up is Paul Thomas Anderson's The Battle of Bacton Cross, starring Leonardo DiCaprio in the lead role, and other people who I can't. Potentially Alana Haim's in it as well. She was very good in Licorice Pizza. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. He is my favorite ever director for a reason. This is a film I've wanted to watch for a couple of years now since it first got announced. The last time it's adapted from a Thomas Pynchon novel, Vineland. I tried reading Thomas Pynchon's Inherent Vice because I watched the film that PTA did, and I didn't like the film much, and I didn't like the book much. That is the only thing that makes me nervous, is that Thomas Pynchon's writing it's not really for me. It's good, but it's not really for me. But very much excited for that one. Next up is another Timothée Chalamet film coming out at the end of the year. It's Marty Supreme, which is a table tennis film. That's what we all love to see. Table tennis.
And I just
The
want to
set
say
photos.
we're a
Go on.
sports film podcast, so we better be invited to the premiere. Like we
Yeah, I
were,
mean, that's
experts in bowling when I went to watch The Gutter. We're also experts in
yeah.
table tennis, so send us to the
I could have,
premiere, please.
yeah, I could have got a ticket for that, but I forgot to do the paperwork. Anyway, yeah, Mighty Supreme. One of the Safdies is directing. I can't remember if it's Josh or Benny, but one of them is doing it, and I love the Safdies.
It's Josh.
It's Josh Safdie. I think I prefer Benny. I can't remember. But anyway, that looks really good. Next up is we've got two films in a row that is starring Robert Pattinson. It's a drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, and Die My Love with Robert Pattinson, Lakeith Stanfield, and Jennifer Lawrence. Rob Pattinson is a favourite on this podcast. I think I can say that. And he's got 3 projects lined up. Mickey 17, the drama, and Die My Love. So he deservedly gets his flowers because he is, I think, one of the best actors of his generation. I think he's got amazing range, loads of talent, seemingly a very good bloke as well. So someone you can root for without worrying that he's got some bodies in his closet. Into the final 3 now. Next up is
No. Don't move on.
No?
No, stop. Because I had those 2 films and I want to say something.
Okay, you can talk through them because you know about a bit more than me.
Okay, so Die My Love, Jennifer Lawrence is playing, I think, the lead, and from what it seems to be about, which is a woman in a remote area driven to the brink of insanity by marriage and motherhood, it reminds me a lot of her performance in Mother! ! The Darren Aronofsky film that I really love, and that's why I'm excited for it, because I think she, in those sorts of performances where you need someone to go absolutely batshit insane and out of their mind, I think she thrives in that, and she was robbed of an Oscar nomination. And so I'm really excited for that film, for Jennifer Lawrence, to be honest. The drama is directed by Christopher Borgli, who I think is an interesting choice because his other films I looked at were Dream Scenario and Sick of Myself. And I haven't seen Dream Scenario, but I've seen Sick of Myself. And it's kind of more like a satirical kind of film about, I don't know, someone who's just a bad person. But it's like so you're not meant to root for the characters. It's just kind of an exploration. And I Dream Scenario looks interesting. So I think that even though the plot of it is like, oh, a couple is about to get married, and then there's some things that come out about each of them that they didn't know about each other before, I bet there's going to be like some crazy shit happening, and it's going to be fucked up, or they're both going to go through it. So I think I'm quite excited about that. It might even be like a comedy-ish, like a black humor comedy, because that's what his first 2 films are like. And I think that's quite cool for
we love that
Zendaya and Robert Pattinson to be in a film like that as well. I still need Zendaya to kind of win me over. So this is her chance. I will be there watching this film for Robert Pattinson. So show up, please.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think maybe we'll review Dream Scenario before the drama comes out. That could be something we look to do. Yeah, I agree with Zendaya, to be honest. I think she's solid, but I've not been like she's not had a performance yet where I go like, yes, you're more than Zendaya because when I see
And
her in films,
Spider-Man, girlfriend.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, but
Euphoria, I thought she was really good, and then she went into all that Marvel stuff
mm,
and Malcolm and Marie, which was rubbish. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I think she was good in Dream Part 2, and I think she was good in Challenges, but like I've not seen like like
I
even
just
like
think
Robert
she got
Pattinson,
outshined both times by other actors, basically,
also other
rather than
supporting
her having
actresses.
a bad performance.
But
Yeah,
also that
exactly. Or supporting
like
actor.
Rebecca Ferguson, like obviously Rebecca Ferguson
Mm-hmm.
is an incredible actress and she's way more experienced. But
Yeah, I love Rebecca
like
Ferguson as well. Shout out.
if you're thinking of a female supporting performance from June Part 2, you rightfully think Rebecca Ferguson, not Zendaya. But I think she has the chops for it, but she needs to prove it. She needs to talk the talk. Next up, three more. Is The History of Sound, starring Josh O'Connor and Paul Mescal. This is a film that's
I
been on
love
my
you,
radar.
Josh.
We love you, Josh, in this podcast. Not sure if this is registered on the mic. Um, you where was I? As I've said before, I've seen every single one of Paul Mescal's films. I remember a couple of years ago, I was going through his upcoming slate, and it was films like The History of Sound. What else has he been in recently? Like Carmen, which wasn't that good, but the Richard Linklater film he's filming over like the space for like 30 years. We'll see that in 32 years' time, which is mental. Um, this is a love story set in World War Two between Josh O'Connor and Paul Mescal. This is where I feel like Paul Mescal thrives. He wasn't at his best in Gladiator 2. It's not really his thing. Dramas where there's a bit of romance, a bit of sexiness, and a bit of music. This is his bag, and this is where he can get back on the horse and prove to himself, not to himself necessarily, but prove to everyone
And
else
prove
why
to
he
me.
is. Yeah, prove to Veronica most importantly. Not just me. Like, I'm a Paul Mescal truther, but yeah, he's got some really, really, really good projects. He's got that film coming up with Jesse Buckley, the Hamnet, which is
Oh
a
yeah, I love
re-
Jessie Buckley. She's so good.
so that is a film. I'm not sure if it's coming out this year or next year.
I think it
But
is this year.
well, okay, I'll add that to the list. I can't remember. I think it's called Hamnet, directed by
Yeah,
I think Chloe Zhao. Zhao, I think
yeah, I think it is.
that is that. He looks a bit like William Shakespeare, and he's playing William Shakespeare. So very excited for that. Next up is Jay Kelly, starring George Clooney, Laura Dern, and others. Directed by one of my favourite directors, actually. Maybe not one of my favourite directors, but a director I've seen a lot of, and he's got a real big range in terms of he's done some quite mediocre stuff and also some of the best films of the decade. It is Jay Kelly, directed by Noah Baumbach. Described, I think it's described as an adult coming of age drama comedy, which is when this kind of a Noah Baumbach's thing. If you look at films like Marriage Story, which I've now got on Criterion, um, which is one of the best films of the decade in my opinion. Um, Films like the Mayorowitz stories, films like The Squid and the Whale. Those three are any director would be happy to have them in their filmography. And last up is actually no, I'll do two more. Next up is The Phoenician Scheme, directed by Wes Anderson, starring Benicio del Toro. Release date not confirmed, but I believe it's an espionage film in which Benicio del Toro is in every frame of the film, I think Wes Anderson said. So no idea if they're sticking with that, but that is something I'm very excited for. Big Wes Anderson guy. Loved Asteroid City. Loved The Phantasm Fox. He's an incredible director in my opinion. And last one I'll mention is The Smashing Machine. Not necessarily like super high up on my list, but it's directed by either Josh. I think it's Benny Safdie is directing it, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who I'm not a fan of, but
Yeah, that's the reason I didn't put it on my list is because he's the lead, and I'm like, okay, like I know that he
yeah,
could probably be a good actor, but like he's in so much shit that it's like, do I like go to the cinema and be bothered to go and watch a film that he potentially will bomb in, and it might
yeah,
be boring and no range, etc., etc.
yeah. I think if that film doesn't work, it won't be because it's boring. I think it'll just be because the performance doesn't work. But we have seen. I think it's potentially. I don't quite remember. It might have Scarlett Johansson in it. I can't quite remember who the female lead is. Essentially, this is a wrestling drama, serious film starring Dwayne Rock Johnson. I have hope in that if you look at Uncut Gems, like sure, everyone else, well, not everyone else, but I knew that Adam Sandler had dramatic chops before Uncut Gems. Like look at Punch Drunk Love, the Mayorit stories, even things like Click. He has got those dramatic chops, but the Safdies seem to have a knack of getting these performances out of people, and I'm hopeful that The Rock can do it. I'm not his biggest fan,
Should have
but
been
we
Dave
will see.
Bautista.
Oh, that would be so good. Yeah, I want him to do a rom-com like Dave Bautista. He wants to do a rom-com. I don't really know why he doesn't do one. But I'll pass over to you now, Veronica, whilst I write up some notes for the next segment. What are some of your most anticipated films of this year?
Okay, I have got a lot. By the way, that Noah Baumbach film might be at Venice, so I might be there.
Ooh,
Hopefully. So I'm gonna start off with Sentimental Value, which is directed by Joachim Trier, who made The Worst Person in the World and Oslo August 31st, which I watched last year and I really loved.
did he do
And
the
it's
Nymphomaniac films? Was
I
that someone
don't
else? I've not
know.
seen
I
them,
think it
but
might be someone else, but
rang
I'm
a
not
bell.
sure. And the main lead of this film is Renat Rains. I don't know. God, I don't know how to say her surname, but she's also the lead of The Worst Person in the World. So I'm excited for this one. Hopefully, it comes out this year. But it's about it's a drama like all of his films about two sisters who are dealing with their estranged father after their mother dies. So yeah, he co-wrote the screenplay with the same guy, Eskil Vogt, I think, who's also co-wrote the screenplay for his other films. So it will probably be as good as those. The second film I'm excited for is called Alpha, which is directed by Julia Ducournau. It's her third feature, and I absolutely love Titan. Shout out to Connor. So I'm very excited for this film. I know she directed Raw as well, but I didn't like that as much as I liked Titan. I'm a little bit disappointed with the casting of Tahar Rahim, just because all I remember is his performance in Madam Web, where like his mouth was moving and then they put the sound in post-production and it
That's not
doesn't
his
match the
fault,
movements of his
though.
mouth.
That's not his
But
fault. You
also
can't
his
blame him for
performance
that.
was bad. No, but
Okay,
that's
well,
part of it. His performance was also like one of the worst I've
yeah, you
seen in
can,
a
yeah,
superhero
okay,
film,
you
which
can blame
is
him for that, but
a very low bar.
you can't blame him for terrible
But that
ADR.
adds
It's
to
not his
the
fault.
badness of
Okay, yeah,
him.
yeah, fair.
Okay. Anyway, apparently this is a drama set in northern France in Le Havre in the 1980s about a girl who's been ostracized by her classmates following rumors that she has contracted a strange new illness. So that sounds fun. It'll probably be. I mean, I would be shocked if there wasn't a body horror element just because of her first two films. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure her illness will be disgusting and awful. Um, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean because body horror, you know. Anyway, next film I'm excited for is Mother Mary. I'm surprised you didn't say this film. It's David Lowery directing, and it has Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole as the main leads. But I think it also has Hunter Schafer, and we love
I
Hunter
don't think
Schafer.
I'm. Yeah, we love Hunter Schafer, a very beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm familiar with this film.
Um, I know a lot of people. The thing is, I'm a little bit worried because I've been very excited for it. Is the same director as The Green Knight, which I absolutely loved. That was with Dev Patel, Alicia Vikander, whatever. That was an amazing film. But the thing is that this film started filming in 2023, and there's been like not much about it. I think it comes out this year. It should, but it's about a relationship between a musician and a fashion designer. So Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole are actually like lovers,
Well, now
and
you have my
going through
attention. Let me
exactly.
let me lock in.
And they it says they're battling fame in their own industries, so it might be, you know, a bit of tension, a bit of like fighting for the spotlight kind of thing, big fight at the end where they, I don't know, like pick out each other's eyeballs. I don't know. It might go a bit crazy, is all I'm saying, okay? And then Hunter Schafer's somewhere in the background, so yeah, go watch it if it
Is
comes
that
out.
like
It's
how
probably going to be...
when we were all ready for Kinds of Kindness, and it was like it's got Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Mark Qualley, Hunter Schafer. It's like Hunter Schafer had like one scene. It's like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it will probably be
Give
like
her
that,
two
but
scenes because this was. Would you say it filmed in 2023? So this is kind of before.
if started filming in 2023, yeah.
Yeah, so it might have been before her kind of she skyrocketed in fame, so she might only have a few scenes.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll
Anyway.
see.
Well, hopefully we'll see this year. I hope it comes out, because it sounds fun. Next film is The Bride! Exclamation mark. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal's second film as director. And it's apparently a sci-fi musical. So it's inspired by the 1935 Bride of Frankenstein film. And the cast is like crazy. So Jessie Buckley is the main lead, which we love her. Christian Bale, Penelope Cruz, Peter Sarsgaard, Annette Bening. So it sounds pretty good. And I like Maggie Gyllenhaal. Warner Bros. Has said that it comes out in the US on the 26th of September this year. So maybe Cannes or Venice in terms of film festivals. That would be quite nice. But there's not much else about it. I mean, you can watch the film then inspired it, I guess, to know more about what it'll be like. But I don't like that. Like, it spoils the fun of it. Like, I didn't watch the original Nosferatu before
I was
watching the new
just
one
about to
because I
say
just
that.
feel like it spoils it. Why would you want to know? You just watch the film as it is. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Next film is it might be bad, but it's called Hot Milk, and it's a directorial debut for Rebecca Lenkiewicz, who wrote Ida, which is a Polish film that was nominated for an Oscar, and also She Said. And she also wrote, I think, Baby Reindeer, the limited series. I'm not 100% sure that that's correct, but I remember her name. And I think she's Polish, which is why I'm putting this in here. But anyway, it's a directorial debut, and it's an adaptation of a book about a relationship between a mother and a daughter on a holiday in Spain. Apparently, Fiona Shaw plays the wheelchair-bound mother opposite Emma Mackey, who I love Emma Mackey, even though I
That's
hated
an
that film she
interesting
was in.
pairing. I think that's a
So, yeah.
good pairing as well. I like that.
Yeah, and guess who's next? Vicky Creeps, or Cripes. Oh god, I don't know how to say her name. Vicky
I don't know who that is.
Creeps. She was the main character in that German film I really liked from like 2 years ago. Oh my god, where she plays the queen.
Oh, she's in Phantom Thread. No, it's
Yeah,
Corsage.
she is. Corsage, yeah. Oh my god, I absolutely
Oh,
love
I love
Corsage.
her. She was so good in Phantom. Have you seen Phantom Thread?
No, but I know I need to watch it. I
Oh,
know.
I'm
Anyway,
rewatching it
I
soon.
really like her.
Gorgeous film.
So the three leads basically. So she plays a traveler who crosses paths with them. So like three big female leads. A really good writer who's making her directorial debut, adapting a book as well, which usually works, I guess.
Unless it's The Outrun, in which seemingly
Yeah.
yeah.
But apparently this film is most likely to show up at Berlin Film Festival, so that is quite soon. Hopefully, it will come out someday in the UK. Maybe never, because they hate us.
In 5 years' time, we'll see
yeah.
that film.
So next film is called Nouvelle Vague. Oh, you know what? I'm not. I hate pronouncing stuff. And it's a Richard Linklater film. How have you missed this? How have you missed this?
Let me lock in quickly. Wait, but he's got so many projects lined up. It's kind of hard to keep track.
Well, so it's a reconstruction of the making of the 1960 classic by Jean-Luc Godard, Breathless.
Oh yeah, we all know. Oh okay.
Yeah, we all know that one.
Yeah.
So it's
we all know Jean-Luc
Zoe.
Godard.
Yeah, we all do. So it's Zoe Deutsch, in the role of the star of the film.
I would say
Gene Seberg.
Nouveau Vague.
Nouveau Vague.
Yeah,
sure.
he's got 2 films in post production as Richard Linklater. So.
But apparently it's black and white because the I guess the original film was in black and white. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't watched it. So it's I don't know the cast, so I'm just not even going to go through the names. I'm sorry.
Bunch of like little unknowns, is it? I don't
Yeah,
mind it. I do.
yeah.
Well, for a bit of context,
But
in
it's Richard Linklater, so
what exactly in
he found
Everybody
so
Wants
many
Some.
great actors.
Yeah,
Though.
but even like in Everybody Wants Some, I think there was only maybe 5 of the 4 of the main more central characters that had extensive acting experience. A lot of the other friends that are involved were not actors, and they have not acted again to this day. So Richard Linklater knows how to get the best out of people, whether they're experienced actors, young actors, or absolute beginners.
Yeah. So this is the Richard Linklater film, which apparently will be coming out this year at some sort of film festival, maybe Berlin. I don't know, but I heard that's a bit too early. So I'd say don't count on Berlin if you're going. But yeah, I'm excited just because it's Richard Linklater and I trust him now. Next film is called No Other Choice, which is by Korean filmmaker Park Chan-wook, who is really, really good. His last film was Decision to Leave, which won Best Director at Cannes. This will probably show up at Cannes again. It's a dark comedy, and it's an adaptation of the book The Axe, which I've never heard of. But it's about a middle-aged man who is unable to get a job after being laid off at a paper company, and he starts killing off other potential candidates in a competitive employment market, which sounds so good, by the way. Like, it sounds like such a fun film. Like, dark comedy, the premise is great, and it's an actor whose last film won Best Director at Cannes, and which is one of the best films of the last few years, Decision to Leave. So,
Can I have On that
wow,
note,
it sounds
can I
great.
have a very quick rant about a film about murder?
Oh,
It's
yes.
a cancelled film. It was, I can't remember who was directing it. I think it was the guy who did Vice, Adam McKay. I think it was. He was supposed to be directing a film
I don't
starring
like Adam
Robert Pat.
McKay.
No, I mean he's got some films I love and some I don't love, but
He's
that's
just a bit
beside the point.
cringe, isn't he?
But yeah, I don't disagree. But it was starring Robert Pattinson and Robert Downey Jr. And I think it was about a politician who wanted to legalize murder. It was something like that. Um, and the plot looked really good, and they cancelled it, and I was gutted. I can't remember what it was called exactly, but oh
Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that.
so yeah,
That
I
did
was very
sound
sad
really
about
good,
that.
but
Yeah,
anyway, this film sounds better,
yeah,
so
yeah.
hopefully
Watch
this will
this
fill
film.
that void in your heart from that one. And the director's better, so, you know. Anyway, next film. So both of us haven't seen The Brutalist. I'm actually watching it in exactly a week's time.
That should have been on
But
my list. Yeah.
the team behind... No, it's not The Brutalist. It's actually their next film, Anne Lee.
God, they're just putting out
So...
fucking numbers, aren't they?
Yeah, there's another film coming out this year by the team behind The Brutalist. So it's a musical inspired by the real-life religious leader Anne Lee. She's the founding leader of the Shaker movement, and she was proclaimed by her followers as the female Christ, built one of the largest utopian societies in American history. So the director isn't Brady Corbet, it's actually Mona
Mm.
Fastfold, but she is the co-writer of the screenplay of The Brutalist. So, this is kind of another writer, going into the director's seat, and I think that's really exciting. And Amanda Seyfried actually plays the sect leader, plays Anne Lee.
I
So I think
believe
that's
her
great.
as a cult leader.
Absolutely.
Not
She
cult leader. It's
played
not a cult.
okay, well, she played oh, what was it? She was in she played some sort of serial killer recently,
Mean
like a
Girls.
few
Oh
years
no,
ago.
different. Yeah, different film.
No,
Different
different film.
film. Yeah.
Amanda Seyfried, she was in some limited series about some fucked up
Was
woman.
that the one that Jesse Plemons was in? Or was that a different one?
I don't know. Wait, give me
Yeah.
5 seconds to type this
Amanda
out.
Seyfried, obviously best
It was
known
the
for Mamma
dropout.
Mia.
It was the
The
dropout. She
Dropout.
played Elizabeth Holmes. There you go. I guess that's not
And we,
quite the
and we
same,
all know
but
we all know who that is. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, next film. I was surprised you didn't say this because it's Luca Guadagnino's next film, which that man does not stop working. Jesus Christ! But they are all
Yeah.
hits. They are all hits.
Well,
Yeah, all of them. All of them.
I
Every
don't
single
actually.
one.
Let me wait.
I
The
think I've watched
lowest,
every of his films.
the lowest Luca Guadagnino film rating wise I've given is I think
Don't say it.
3.5. 3.5.
Don't
I've
tell
got
me
like
what
three.
one was 'cause I don't want to know.
I've got like Queer, Bones and All, and Call Me by Your Name are all on 3.5.
Shut up.
They're all good films. You
Okay,
shut
Call
up.
Me by Your Name actually is mid, but all the rest of them I really loved. Anyway, it's called After the Hunt. Ayo Edebiri, Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield. Who cares about Andrew Garfield? But
No,
Ayo
whoa,
Edebiri,
whoa,
Julia
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Roberts. I don't care about him.
I
Anyway,
just yeah. I just recreated that Olivia Wilde
um,
video where she was just nodding. Oh, that is
yeah,
yeah. Those four. I know you're not as big on
it
Garfield
was
as I am,
free.
but like,
Oh, I
y-
guess
d-
4. Luca
yeah,
Guadagnino, yeah.
yeah. Those four are like, yeah, excited.
Ayo Edebiri and Julia Roberts as the leads. Wow. I mean,
Also,
wow.
whilst
That's
you mentioned
incredible.
Luca, 3 cheers for Luca Guadagnino for walking out of the Golden Globes when Emilia Perez won that
Oh
award
yeah,
for best
true.
whatever.
That is true. Well, like all of them. Um. Anyway, let's keep talking about 2025 because I don't want to think about the I don't want to forget Emilia Perez. It was written by Nora Garrett, and it's described as a thriller about a college professor who I assume is Andrew Garfield. Oh wait, no, it's not because it says finds herself, and I'm sure his pronouns are
What?
he
So
him.
women
So
can't be professors, can they?
well, no, I
That's
just
poor from you.
listen. Okay, sorry. So what is Julia Roberts? I guess the professor.
Oh, so young people
Maybe.
can't be professors, can they? It's
No,
disgraceful. Luca
no, because
Guadagnino is the professor.
okay. Um, so as a college professor, who I assume is Julia Roberts, finds herself at a personal and professional crossroads when a star pupil, I'm guessing Ayo Edebiri, because she's very intelligent, levels an accusation against one of her colleagues. Definitely Andrew Garfield.
Andrew
He is
Garfield,
a
yeah.
dodgy. No,
No,
okay,
he's
I'm
not.
sorry. I'm
No, we
joking.
cannot say
I'm
that.
joking.
Come on the podcast, please, Andrew.
Anyway,
Even if
his
William for the time is crap.
Guadagnino's last 4 films have been at Venice. So hopefully, I'm praying that this will be at Venice and I'll be able to go watch it because I will meet Ayo Edebiri. That's happening. Um, Next film, again, I'm surprised you didn't talk about highest to lowest. Spike Lee, who reunites with Denzel Washington for this reinterpretation of Kurosawa's thriller High and Low. I need to watch that film
Yeah, well,
before this comes
the
out.
reason I didn't say it was threefold. A, I forgot it existed.
And it
B,
has Ice Spice in it.
yeah, oh God, yeah, that's right. 4 reasons. B, like I've not watched loads of. Actually, I think I've only seen one Spike Lee film, which was Do the Right Thing, which is a great film, by the way.
Spike
Um,
Lee's great.
but also I've not seen the original, and although I've not seen Old Boy or the
We
remake,
can watch the
um,
original.
yeah, we can. Spike Lee obviously remade Old Boy, and it's widely regarded as one of the worst films ever made. So you
But
know, no
it's
pressure.
a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for Spike Lee.
Is that
So
2 weeks in a row that song we just had to mention?
yeah, it is. That's my new catchphrase. I just stole it. Um anyway, blah, 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 blah. So Spike Lee or someone said that Denzel is a music mogul with his own label and his reputation as the best ears in the business. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't fill me with too
Sure,
much confidence.
sure. Why not?
Oh, and apparently he signs Ice Spice, who is in
Well,
this film.
he's clearly not got very fucking good ears, then, has he? Because I've heard her music, and I wouldn't say that's very good.
I saw her live last year. Because she was at a
Yeah,
festival, not because I went to an Ice Spice concert,
you're on
okay?
the barrier,
Easy.
weren't you? You're just there front and center.
No, no, I wasn't. I actually think I left halfway through.
You saw
Anyway,
you.
um, next film is a Darren Aronofsky film, called Caught Stealing. It's called.
Oh,
Um,
this should have been on my list as well. Yeah, this
New
looks really
York
good.
set crime thriller based on a book series by Charlie Huston. Austin Butler plays the lead. Burned out former baseball player who's plunged into a wild fight for survival in the downtown criminal underworld of 1990s New York. That sounds great. That just sounds great.
Do you know
The
what that sounds
only
like? Do you know what it sounds
negative
like a little
about it,
bit? It sounds a little bit like Good Time. A little bit.
yeah, it does. It sounds fucking great. And I love Aronofsky. I love Aronofsky if I pretend that The Whale never existed because I hate The Whale. But The Whale did debut at Venice, so, you know, maybe I'll get to watch this one soon. Well, not soon, September, I guess. Anyway, it sounds great. Looking forward to that one. Next one is it's on my radar because of Conclave, and it's Edward Berger's next film, The Ballad of a Small Player. And it sounds great because it stars Colin Farrell, and it's set in the casinos of Macau. It's a psychological thriller, which is completely different from his other two films.
I am so locked in.
Colin Farrell is a high-stakes gambler who decides to lay low in the peninsula when past lies and debts catch up with him.
If you
And
could
he
see my grin
encounters
right
a
now.
kindred
Oh.
spirit, played by Tilda Swinton, who might hold the key to his salvation. Wow. I mean, wow. Colin Farrell, Tilda Swinton, gambling. Psychological thriller, Edward Berger, Conclave.
Can I just do
I
something for
mean,
the first time in a few weeks?
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that gets an applause. That is incredible.
And apparently it will be on Netflix at some point. Like, maybe it won't be like on Netflix
It
immediately.
would never
but
get a
it will
theatrical release
eventually.
ever.
Well, I think it might do festivals just because it sounds so good, and it's Colin Farrell. I mean, you can't put Colin Farrell on Netflix. Come on, people, what's happening to the film
He's a
industry?
movie star. Let him cook. And Tilda
Absolutely.
Swinton, by the way. Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, Tilda
Fucking
Swinton's
amazing.
oh god, great. Yeah,
She was really good in
Okay.
that one scene in The Killer. She was very good in that.
I was gonna say it kind of feels like a similar character to the killer. But anyway, next film is called Sacrifice. This is a bit of a rogue pick from me, I'm not gonna lie, because it's the director I haven't seen any of his films, but I know that he used to date Dua Lipa. So it's French director Roman Gavras, and but it does sound interesting. So it's a loose retelling of the Joan of Arc story, and it stars Anya Taylor-Joy as Joan of Arc, which is pretty great. And she takes 3 hostages in the belief that they need to be sacrificed for the good of humanity. And the supporting cast includes John Malkovich, Ambika Mod, Jeremy O. Harris, and Charlie XCX. What is going on here?
Was that the one she was filming? What was that film, Charlie XCX?
Yeah,
was
there's a
filming in
film that she
Poland?
was filming in Poland. This is not the film.
For God.
So she has another film as well. She's.
She-
I mean, to be fair, her letterbox is great. You got to admit, her letterbox.
Yeah,
is
I'll tell
great.
you.
She's
I'll tell you who
proper
else's
film
letterbox
lover.
is great.
No,
Mia
no, it's
Khalifa's
not.
letterbox.
No, it's not. It's
I
not.
was
She
chat-
gave La La Land 2 stars.
I was
Shut up.
chatting to Veronica the other day, and we said, let's say there was some hypothetical world in which Mia Khalifa agreed to come on the podcast. Veronica said she'd refuse to co-host it, and it would just be me on my own with Mia Khalifa.
Mhm.
So Mia Khalifa, you're formally invited on the Floodlights Camera Action podcast, but Veronica might not be here because
Well,
she's
I
very angry
invite
at you.
Charlie XCX because she has actual taste in film.
Yeah, I would
And
also. I
doesn't
like
watch
to do that
5
episode
films
as
a
well.
day like some. You know what doesn't matter.
She's some jobless individual. Get a job, Mia. Get a job.
I actually get a job, Mia. Like, you watch about 5 films a day. It's unhealthy, and you also rate them all wrong. Anyway, next film is one that you probably knew I was going to talk about. It's Yorgos Lanthimos' new film, again with Emma
Begonia.
Stone, Begonia, and it's a remake of the South Korean sci-fi comedy Save the Green Planet, which I need to watch before this film comes out because I want to know something about something.
Mention the co-star. Mention the co-star. This is very important.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons. It's
Big dog.
Yorgos, Emma, and Jesse Plemons again. And also actually, it's produced by Ari Aster. By the way,
What?
So
Why
this
is he?
shit,
Why
yeah.
is he?
Well, they met, and I think that they
Is
did
that
like a
like-
directors on directors video together. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they after that decided, oh, let's collaborate or something, and then they,
Is it,
I don't know.
I love it
bought
when you
stuff.
see. I love it when you see people like Spielberg and Scorsese as producers, not even exec producers,
Yeah.
just producers. It's one of my favorite little quirks of filmmaking.
But okay. So apparently, Focus Features said this will come out on the 7th of November, which means it will probably be at Venice again. So fingers crossed. And I'm just going to tell you a bit about the plot because I mean it's a remake, so you kind of know what it's going to be about if you watch the first one. Apparently, okay, this is what it's about. 2 conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap the high-powered CEO. The high-powered CEO is Emma Stone here, and one of the young men is Jesse Plemons. Well, maybe not young, but So they kidnap the high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she's an alien intent on destroying planet Earth. I mean, it just sounds incredible, doesn't it? It just sounds incredible.
It sounds
sounds
very
like
Yorgos.
It sounds very, very Yorgos, and it sounds like. I think, by the way, Emma Stone shaved her head for this role. She
did,
shaved
she
her
did.
head for something. Yeah.
It was for this one.
So I assume in the film they will shave her head. I don't know. That's just me assuming.
Maybe
But
right. Here's a little prediction. Maybe
Yeah.
they are going to shave her head to try and see if she's got an alien brain. My prediction.
Okay, sure. Well, we'll
Okay,
see.
sure.
Um, well, I was actually gonna watch Save the Green Planet at the BFI because they were showing that like the South Korean version of the like
Didn't
the
you
original.
start this episode saying you don't want to rewatch? You don't want to watch the original
I
because it
did,
might
but
ruin the
this is
experience.
Yorgos. This is different. This is
Don't do
different
it to
because
yourself.
this is
Don't do
different.
it to yourself.
But I know he's gonna blow my expectations out the water anyway.
Well,
Anyway.
actually, maybe do because I reckon because you're such a sycophant, you're going to rate Begonia at least 4 stars or above, regardless of how good it is.
Oh,
And
5. I
yeah,
don't care what happens.
and maybe if you watch the original Begonia after, you'd be like, ah, it's not Yorgos, so maybe you need to watch it first to give it a
Yeah, I
fair
need to watch
rating.
it first, definitely. Well, speaking of Ari Aster and Emma Stone, by the way, Ari Aster has a new film coming out this year called Eddington. It's a western, and it stars Joaquin Phoenix and Emma Stone. So I
Has
will be
Joaquin not
watching that.
dropped out of it? No.
Well, no, because apparently when it's Ari Aster, he doesn't drop out, but when it's anyone else, he does. So
Yeah, I
do
think
that what
Ari
you
Aster
will.
must have like some dirt on him.
They're in love.
All
That's what I'm
that,
saying.
all that, yeah.
Next film is probably one that people don't expect me to have on a list like this, but it's Superman. It's a new Superman film.
Yes, yeah. I
Directed
forgot
by
to put that on my
James
list.
Gunn, who actually makes good superhero films. He directed the new version of Suicide Squad, which I watched at the cinema, and I actually really enjoyed.
Good film. Good film.
And he obviously had directed Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy or whatever it was, or I don't know if there were 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Um,
3. There was a
but
Christmas special as well,
so
but there were 3 films.
he's like the one superhero director that I trust, basically.
And Matt
Um,
Reeves. Come on.
yeah, of course. I think it's
They're
more the DC guys than Marvel, to be honest, in terms of directing, anyway.
well, like Marvel, it's like almost
Um,
irrelevant who you get to direct it. Like
yeah,
even
I
like
literally cannot name a single director from Marvel, not even
so I
those
can
2 people.
yeah the
I can't
Russo
remember the names.
you can name like the Russos and you can name like I don't know
The
other
Russos are
people,
rubbish, though.
but they're all kind of the same. I mean, the only one who was actually different and actually the film wasn't that good, but she
Was
actually
it Doctor
flexed her
Strange or
muscles.
something?
I mean that too. But I was
That
thinking
looked interesting.
more Chloe Zhao for the for
Oh,
Eternals.
yeah.
Eternal
Yeah,
boring
yeah.
film in my opinion, but like she actually tried.
I
But
mean,
at
to
least
be
DC
fair,
give a bit more license to
like,
flex your muscles.
Nomadland is also a boring film. So, like,
Sure, not seen it.
I think her kind of,
Boring
MO
but
is
pretty.
boring. That's why I didn't put her new film on my list, because I've watched Nomadland and it won stuff at the Oscars, and I don't understand
Mm,
why, because I thought it was just
yeah,
boring as fuck, to be honest.
I more put it on there for the just for Jesse Buckley and Paul Mescal.
Oh yeah, I
But
love Jesse Buckley, obviously. Anyway, David Corenswet as well playing Superman. I think I'm glad that it's not Henry Cavill, because there's someone who can actually act.
and actually fits
um,
what Superman's about. Not so
exactly, and
he's not
isn't
some
some
depressing murdering machine.
exactly. I feel like the old Superman was like what Marvel would have made Superman, and this is like
I
what an
actually
actual
disagree. I think it's just
film.
what I think it's just Zack Snyder being a bad director. Is it's not
That too,
Marvel
I
or
guess.
DC. It's just Zack Snyder being bad and making giving him like a serial killer haircut and shows no emotional kindness.
Henry
Whereas
Cavill does look like a serial killer as well. He reminds me of
yeah,
what's his
he's very
name?
good in Mission Impossible Fallout.
Um, what's his name? That guy who was a cannibal. Call me by a name. Army Hammer. He reminds me of Army Hammer.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
we should
know. They
specify
have
though. We
that
should
look.
specify. They specify very quickly. Henry Cavill not got very serious allegations against him. Henry Cavill
No, but he looks
probably not,
like he
but
would.
well, yeah. Anyway, let's move on before we get ourselves sued.
Anyway, also Rachel Brosnan.
Brosnahan,
Brosnan.
Brosnahan,
Brosnahan. Yeah, she's in it as well as Lois Lane, and she's really good. Who
and
else? What? Who else?
friend of
Hunter
the
Schafer?
show.
Oh.
No, no, she's not in it. Nicholas Hoult is Lex
Oh
Luthor.
yeah. Oh, we love him. Oh my god, yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Oh yeah, this film's gonna be great. This film's gonna be great. I'm telling you that right now. I will be there. Right, next film. I do have a lot of films, I'm sorry, but I just made a list. Next film is The Running Man, directed by Edgar Wright, who we really like because
this is also on my list.
yeah, we do. I really like Baby Driver. I've watched it a few times.
Shaun of the
Unfortunate
Dead,
cast.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
that cast is something, but
Jamie Foxx and John Hamm
anyway.
are really,
Mm.
those bastards. That's all I'll say.
And Asa Rodriguez. Oh.
And Lily James.
Asa Gonzalez.
And
Yeah,
Lily
and Leah
James as well.
But anyway, so The Running Man, starring our absolute best friend, Glenn Powell, obviously, but also starring Katie O'Brien, who was the one of the leads in Love Lies Bleeding with Kristen Stewart last year. So that's quite fun. And she also in Twisters with Glenn Powell, actually. Whoa! I just made that connection. Whoa. Okay. It's set in an oppressive future where the government controls the media, and Glenn Powell volunteers to participate in a deadly game show which will see him hunted by professional killers over 30 days. If he survives, he'll win a cash prize that will save his sick child. That sounds pretty great, to be honest. Dystopian. It sounds like
Did
Squid Games.
did you mention it's a remake of the cult classic?
No, I didn't.
Oh well,
It's a remake of the cult classic.
it's a remake of the cult classic directed by Paul Michael Glazer, starring. Guess who
Oh,
stars
stop
as the
glazing.
original? Guess who stars as the original,
Tom
Mike?
Cruise.
No, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay. Well, this will be better. I'm sure Glenn Powell will be better.
Yeah. Also, did you mention Josh Brolin's in it?
No, I didn't because I don't really care.
Just going through the cast very quickly. Josh Brolin, one of my favorites, is in it. Lee Pace is in it, who was very good in that film
Bodies,
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 bodies.
William H Macy is one of my favorites in it, and Coleman Domingo is in it.
Oh, we love him.
Oh, what a
We love
cast!
Coleman. Okay, next one is the third Knives Out film, Wake Up Dead Man. Obviously, Daniel Craig is back as Benoit Blanc, and we love Daniel Craig.
And the goat.
Josh O'Connor.
Woo!
Yeah, we love Josh O'Connor.
Big
And
fans.
also Kaylee Spaney, who I'm a big fan of. And I didn't write down any of the other actors because I don't really care.
Do you want me to
Anyway,
look it up
it's
very
a
quickly?
Knives Out film. You can go through the cast. Go for it.
The cast is Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, Kaylee Spaney, Andrew Scott, Glenn Close, Kerry Washington, Josh Brolin, again, who I love, Mila Kunis, who I don't love, Jeremy Renner, Daryl McCormack, Thomas Hayden Church, and then some other random people. Good cast. Not as good as the first film, but I'd say better than the second one.
Yeah. Next film is actually a film that comes out in like a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks. I saw the trailer for it recently, called Companion, and it has Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher as the two leads. The trailers look really good. It's a horror film, but it's directed by the same guy, I think, who made Barbarian. And you probably haven't watched Barbarian, but it's like a horror film which is really good and like full of suspense and really interesting, and it just goes off the rails, batshit crazy, like funny basically towards the end. It's just like a fun film to watch in a group or by yourself if you're sad. But like I'm really excited for it because the same director as the Barbarian, and I love the Barbarian. And both the actors are also very good. Jack Quaid, obviously Dennis Quaid's son, who is in The Substance.
We prefer Jack because Dennis is a
We do
shitbag.
prefer Jack, yeah. Okay, and then the last one is the absolute last film. It might be bad. It's called Drop, and it's directed by Christopher Landon, who directed the slasher horrors Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2 You, which are two of my favourite slasher horrors ever, actually. They're really fun. And it also stars in the lead role Megan Faye, who, do you remember when you looked her up and you were like, well, her name is spelled so weird? And she's so hot.
I just
So,
slagged
yeah.
off some random woman, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. So
I'm gonna
it's
Google her
about...
again just to make sure she's
Oh,
really hot.
God.
I need to, I just can't remember these
Okay,
things.
right. Well, while you do that, I'll talk about the plot. So it's a widowed mother. She goes on her first date in years, and she goes to a restaurant, and the man she sees is a lot more handsome than she expected. But then, she's terrorized by some anonymous airdrops to her phone. It just sounds so weird. Okay, but yeah, I'll watch it because I like the director, and it's probably gonna be a slasher or like a silly, fun horror film. And I like Megan Faye, and she's actually picked a good project for the first time in years. Well, except that one series she was in.
Her name is. I know I said it. I don't. It must have been months ago. Her name is fucking mental, but she's very hot. So
Yeah,
it evens
okay,
out.
well, that's it. I'm done now with all my films. Also, I didn't say stuff like The Brutalist and blah blah because that comes out soon and I'll review it soon.
We'd be here for about 10 hours.
Exactly.
Now,
Sorry.
before we get to our BAFTA predictions, we have been graced by 5 guests who I asked to send videos in, essentially stating who they are, what their favourite film of 2024 was and their favourite film of 2025. The 5 videos we've got lined up are from Andy Hawkswell, Jack Rogers, Casey Evans, Tom Little, and Matt Baldwin. So massive thank you to them for getting involved. It makes the show fun, and they are all fantastic guests in their own right. So make sure to go back and listen to their episodes, and you can hear what they think now.
Hello, my name is Jack. My top film of 2024 is going to be Mads. It's a French horror film, a complete one take, and for me that is why it's my favourite as well, because it's a pure oneer the whole way through. The entire hour and a half of the film is an actual hour and a half's worth of footage, just non-stop. It's also the first time I've seen a horror film in especially recent years I've actually genuinely been a bit uneasy, a bit scared, and a lot of that's down to the camera work and the amazing acting in it as well. And the film I'm most looking forward to this year in 2025 is going to be 28 years later. I think especially after that trailer, it just looks like it's going to be phenomenal, and I don't know, there's something about the originals that are just amazing, so I'm hoping that this new one has the exact same feel to it.
So my favourite movie of last year, well, it's probably between two. I said on the podcast Furiosa because it's a great movie, obviously some great performances, Chris Hemsworth especially. But more I think about it, The Wild Robot was an absolutely fantastic animated movie that so many people should watch. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It's one of those movies that you watch and you're like, really gets you in the feels. And for the movie I'm most anticipating for the next year coming up, I can't look past Superman. I used to watch Superman all the time with my dad when I was younger. It was like one of my favourite movies. It was what really got me into like superhero movies and comic books and so on and so forth, for Christopher Reeve and that. And yeah, it just looks so good. It looks like it really honours the spirit of the character and the spirit of the comic books it comes from. So yeah, definitely Superman.
Hello everyone at Floodlights Camera Action. Hello Jack, hello Weronika. Hope everyone is well and had a wonderful, wonderful year. Congrats on the success of the podcast. Very proud to be part of it in the early days. So let's do my review. Film of the year is probably The Substance. Fantastic, watched it twice. The second time around mainly just to see the crowd. Honourable mentions, Holdovers, Iron Claw, The Boy and the Heron. Films I look forward to next year, I'd be lying if I didn't mention Wicked Part 2. Really, really enjoyed the first one. A couple of, I don't know if the Paul Thomas Anderson project with Leo is still going ahead this year. I've heard it's been delayed, but otherwise that is going to be a gem. Maggie Gyllenhaal's project with Christian Bale, the Frankenstein project, looks really, really good. I think Del Toro's got a Frankenstein thing as well that he filmed up here in Edinburgh that also looks great, but next year could be massive for cinema. Anyway, keep up the good work. Hopefully speak to you guys again soon. Have a wonderful 2025. Let's keep cinema alive, and as always, play up Pompey. Much love from me and the gang. Peace.
Hello, this is Andy from Rats. Just wanted to say that my favourite film of 2024 was Inside Out 2. I thought it was amazing. It really, really spoke to me both as a parent and someone who obviously has been a teenager in the past. Top film. The one I'm most looking forward to in 2025 is the new Frankenstein film, which should be coming out at some point. It's got Oscar Isaacs in it. I think he's great. Really looking forward to seeing what they've done with that. And that should be coming out at some point this year. Okay, Happy New Year, everybody. Take care. Rats.
Well, it's New Year's Eve, about 11 o'clock. I saw your message. In my infinite wisdom, recorded the video and I didn't send, but I'm here now. So, the funniest film podcast in the world wants me to say my favourite film of 2024 and why, and then the best film of 2025 and why, or the one that I want to watch most. If you watched my episode, you'll realise that I'm not exactly a film connoisseur. Should we say, don't watch many high quality films. So out of the films that I watched in 2024, the best one for me will probably be... Once it releases in 2024, it'll be Deadpool and Wolverine. No, I lie. It'll be Bad Boys for Life. Bad Boys for Life, because I'm a Bad Boys fan. My dad's a Bad Boys fan. We watched all of them together. Boss. Good laugh. Brilliant. Brilliant. We love it. The one for 2025. I don't know what's going. You know what? No, I know. Happy Gilmore 2. Loved Happy Gilmore 1. It's a little comfort film of mine. I want another one of them. Do I think it's going to reach the same magic? No. But a man can live in Hope, Carney. Big ups everyone on the podcast. Love for the year. For the great episodes. Here's to 2025.
Massive thank you to Andy, Jack, Casey, Tom, and Matt for their videos. Now, the final part of the show, recently, I think yesterday actually, the EE BAFTA nominations for 2025 were released. We are going to go through the categories of adapted screenplay, best film, casting, cinematography, director, editing, actor, actress, original score, original screenplay, sound, supporting actor, and supporting actress. And we are going to tell you who we think will win. Now, Veronica, do you need me to run you through all the nominees in each category? Or yes? Okay, cool. For adapted screenplay, the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Who do you have for?
Are you going to
that?
write down these predictions?
Yeah, bear with me. Let me get my pen quickly. I've got a fancy new notebook, so this is getting it's got leather bound. So shoot, who are we saying?
Adapted screenplay. I'll go with Sing Sing.
Okay, I'm gonna go Conclave. I think.
Oh shit! Wait, no, change it to Conclave. I forgot about Conclave.
Go with Conclave.
Yeah.
Times 2. Best film. The nominees are A Complete Unknown, Anora, Conclave, Amelia Perez, The Brutalist.
I think it's between The Brutalist and Anora. I'm just thinking, like, I think Anora could win the Oscar, but I feel like BAFTA,
I'm gonna go The Brutalist.
The Brutalist just comes across as such a BAFTA pick, it just does. But I would go with Anora just to go with a different choice to you.
Okay, this is really hard to write and host at the same time. Why did I agree to do this? Next up is casting. Where is casting? A Complete Unknown, Anora, Conclave, Kneecap, and The Apprentice. I think this is a very difficult category. I am going to go with. For me, it's between A Complete Unknown and Conclave. I'm going to go for A Complete Unknown.
I'm going to go for Anora because they got loads of actors who haven't had that much experience before.
Good shout.
That shows good casting. Also, I'm not sure why Kneecap is there because they just play themselves.
I mean, it is good casting because
it's good casting, but I don't know. I don't really know why they're there.
Cinematography, we have got Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, and The Brutalist.
It should be Nosferatu or The Brutalist. That's what it should be. I think Nosferatu was released too late to be winning stuff.
I agree.
And that's why I'm going to say The Brutalist.
I'm torn between my heart and my head. And my heart says Dune Part 2, and my head does say...
It was released too early.
Yeah, I agree. It says The Brutalist. So 2 votes for The Brutalist there. Next up is Best Director. Your nominees are Sean Baker for Anora, Edward Berger for Conclave, Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, and Coralie Faget for The Substance.
I think I'm going to go for the Brutalist director, Brady Corbett. But I do fear that Amelia Perez will be winning all of these. I'm trying to manifest that not happening.
Yeah, I think Anora is going to do much worse than we would like it to.
I think so.
At the awards, I'm going to go for Edward Berger for Conclave. Next up is what have we got next? Editing. Your nominees are Anora, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, and Kneecap.
I'll go with Anora, hopefully. I think the editing in Anora is pretty good.
I'm going to throw in a wild
Kneecap
card
has
here.
Kneecap has really good editing.
This is what I'm about to say. I'm going to go Kneecap because I think there is
change mine to Kneecap as well because the editing there is great. Yeah.
I don't think it's the best of the year, but I think it stands a chance at the BAFTAs. I think it's interesting as well.
And they love the film as well.
Lead actor. Your nominees are Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Ray Fiennes, Hugh Grant, which is mental because he's literally a
I
supporting
don't
actor.
know how he got into that.
He should. I wouldn't be against him nominated for supporting, but anyway. Common Domingo for Sing Sing, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, and Adrian Brody for The Brutalist.
I think it's between Coleman Domingo and Adrian Brody.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I haven't seen The Brutalist. I'm gonna say Coleman Domingo.
So yeah, so as I said many times, it's between Coleman and Sebastian for me, and who should win the Oscar and should win all the awards. But Ray Fiennes is English.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Ray Fiennes. So you went for Coleman, did you say?
Yeah.
So next up is actress. We got Mikey Madison, Carla Sophia Gascon, Marianne Jean Baptiste, Saoirse Ronan, Demi Moore, and Cynthia Erivo.
I don't know how Saoirse Ronan got in. I'm probably because she's Irish.
Yeah. But yeah,
and it's the BAFTAs.
it's another one for her to lose.
Yeah, she's losing to Mikey Madison. I pray she wins here. If she doesn't win here, I think it's over. I don't think she's winning the Oscar.
You know,
If Demi Moore wins somehow, which I think would be crazy at the BAFTAs, I understand her winning at something like Golden Globes or SAG because Americans love Demi Moore. But if she wins BAFTA, I think that's like an issue for Mikey Madison. I still think it'll be Mikey Madison.
thing is, I'm not
If
actually
Nora wins
surprised by.
something, it'll be actress.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by Nora not doing well at the awards. I'm not saying it deserves. I think it deserves to win a lot of awards, but I'm not necessarily
No,
surprised
me
by
neither.
it.
Purely because of what it's about, to be
So
honest.
that's 2 votes for Mikey Madison for us. Next up is original score. We've got Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The
Where's
Brutalist,
Challenges?
and The Wild Robot. Yeah, that's
Again,
mental.
this is just bullshit. Why is Challenges not on here?
I'm gonna go for Conclave.
What was it? What were they again?
Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Brutalist, The Wild Robot.
I'll go with The Brutalist just because I think it'll win loads. And I don't think it matters what it is for. Because they clearly don't know anything about score.
Yeah, they know absolutely nothing. Next up is original screenplay. Your nominees are, I actually really like this category. Real Pain, Anora, Kneecap, The Brutalist, and The Substance.
I think it's crazy The Substance gets
What-
nominated
where's
for screenplay.
Fuck it,
Just
where's
because their
Conclave?
screenplay. Oh, it was
That's-
an adapted screenplay.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that makes
Original
sense.
screenplay. Have you seen what the screenplay looks like for The Substance? It's like so funny. It's like massive capital letters and like screaming on the page and exclamation marks and like big font, small font, like going insane, good describing stuff. And I just think it's really funny that people nominate for screenplay. I feel like they haven't even looked at the screenplays, to be honest. But I do like the screenplay for Substance. It won't win. It's just a funny screenplay to look at.
It's unconventional.
I'm going with The Brutalist because
Okay,
it'll
I'm
win
gonna
everything.
go for a film I love, and I think you should watch. I'm gonna go for A Real Pain.
Blah 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 blah.
I think it's. I don't think it will win, but I think it has a small chance. I think it's a beautiful screenplay.
It's about predicting, not.
Yeah,
know.
but I'm kind of doing a bit of both here. You see, I'm kind of predicting and hoping.
Okay.
Next up is sound. Your nominees are.
It should be The Substance.
Yeah, I mean I've not seen it, so I'm not sure what I'm saying. Yeah,
It should be. Sound
Dune
is the
Part
best
2,
part of The Substance.
Gladiator 2, Substance, and Wicked. That's a weird category. I feel there's some better
It
ones.
should be
there.
The Substance. If they give it to something like Wicked just because it has music in it, I hate these people. And
I
I know
agree.
that's what they're going to do. That's exactly what they're going to do. Is they're going to be like, oh yeah, well, Wicked's a musical, so that means it has music in it, and that means it should win Best Sound because music is a sound. And it's like, that is how these people's stupid brains work. But it should be The Substance because the sound in it is actually incredible.
I'm gonna go for. I don't really like this category. Dune Part 2.
Yeah, that could also be them thinking, loud sounds.
I mean,
that means good sound.
the sound design.
I mean, the sound is good, but I'm just saying,
very, very
like,
good.
They could, like, they won't think like that. They'll think like, loud sound.
Yeah. But next up is Best Supporting Actor, again, a very good category. I think this is a very strong category for this year as well. Your nominees are Edward Norton for Complete Unknown, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Yuri Borisov, who we predicted for Nora, Clarence Macklin, who I predicted for Sing Sing,
Well, so did I. What the hell? I just watched it way
Jeremy
before you.
Strong for The Apprentice, and Guy Pearce for The Brutus. That is one hell of a category. Who have you got?
Oh, I think that's really hard. I want Clarence Macklin to win, but oh man, I really don't think they would give it to Yuri Borisov just because I
No,
think
neither do I.
Anora will only win one, like maximum.
Clarence
I
Macklin.
think
I think all of these, apart from Ed
Guy
Norton,
Pearce
I
for the
think
Brutalist. I
love Guy Pearce.
just haven't seen the Brutalist yet. That's why it's
Yeah.
hard for me to say that he's gonna win.
I think
I'm
all
gonna
of these are
go
cool
with
wins.
Clarence Macklin, just
Yeah.
for
Oh,
hoping.
I'm so torn because I think
It would be so cool for
Jeremy
him to
Strong,
win.
Clarence Macklin, Yuri Borisov, and Kieran Culkin all put in incredible performances.
I think it will be Kieran Culkin, but I'm just gonna hope it's Clarence Macklin. Write down Kieran Culkin because that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but no, Jeremy Strong.
He's not gonna win.
No, I know he's not going to win, but he should win. Which is how this predictions work. Obviously, you went Clarence Macklin, yeah.
No, I said Kieran Culkin because he's gonna win. I just don't want.
Oh, you
him
went
to.
Kieran. Okay. I love that it's a little succession, battle. And our
Yeah.
last category, I think this is a really weak category this year.
I hate it. I'm so pissed off with this
I th-
category. Supporting
I think
actress,
there's hardly any.
mate.
There's
How
not
Margaret?
five.
How was Margaret Qualley not nominated? And you put in 2 people from Amelia Perez, and one of them which is Selena Gomez. And I've seen clips of her in Amelia Perez. How is she nominated for anything? You definitely nominated Selena Gomez because of her name and because she's famous. That is what it is, and it's
Anyway.
a joke. It's a joke. You're a joke, BAFTA.
It's a yoke.
But also invite me.
Your nominees
joke.
in this incredibly weak category this year, not just the nominations we've got at hand, but I think performances
Mate,
as a whole.
Oh my god, I just remembered Jamie Lee Curtis. Fucking hell.
Yeah, well, it is Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. Again, just like a
She
fine
does nothing in
performance.
the film. Like, come on.
She's like just
She literally
6
does
out of 10.
nothing.
She turns
She's
up,
just
does her
there.
job.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez for Amelia Perez, Zoe Saldana for Amelia
Boo.
Perez,
It will be
Felicity
Zoe
Jones for Brutalist, Jamie Lee Curtis for Last Showgirl, and Ariana Grande for Wicked. I've got.
That is so rubbish. It will be Zoe Saldana. It will be. I've heard that she's the only good part of the film, so
Yeah,
it will be. She wins
I think
all of them.
I'm gonna go Zoe Saldana as well, purely because Amelia Perez
But
will
it's a
win
joke.
some
But it's a joke.
awards. Yeah, I mean you got
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. But that is our entire predictions for the BAFTAs. Adapted screenplay, we both got Conclave. Best film, I've got The Brutus, Veronica's got Nora. Casting, I've got Complete Unknown, Veronica's got Nora. Cinematography, we both got The Brutalist. Director, I've got Conclave, Veronica's got The Brutalist. Editing, both got Kneecap. Actor, actually, do we both have Kneecap for editing? Did you say Nora for editing?
Yeah, we do. No, both.
Okay, cool. Both got Kneecap for that. Best actor, I've got Ray Fiennes. Veronica's got Common Domingo. Best actress, we both have Mikey Madison. Best score, I've got Conclave. Veronica's got The Brutalist. Best original screenplay, I've got A Real Pain. Veronica's got The Brutalist. Sound, I've got Dune Part 2. Veronica's got The Substance. Supporting actor, I've got Jeremy Strong. Veronica has Kieran Culkin. And best supporting actress, we both have Zoe Saldana. So those are our complete predictions. Any final comments before we wrap up here?
No comment from me.
No final comments. We're done here.
But it's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. Get Didier Drogba on the podcast. He'd be a great guest. Anyway, that officially takes up to the end of another episode. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to go back and listen to last week's episode, in which we had a lovely New Year's catch up and recommended you some films to watch. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Not on Instagram, we're not on Instagram, on Twitter, which is just at FloodlightsPod. On Letterboxd, I'm Jay Hancock46. Veronica is Slowed Panda. And make sure you subscribe to myself on YouTube, because I've started posting, got 2 videos out on Isaac Hayden and Rob Atkinson. It's just Hancock Analysis. And make sure you follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. It's at Floodlights Pod. No, it's not. It's Floodlights Camera Action. And we're going to do some bonus content for all of you. I think that's everything. Veronica, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Can you let the people know how they can email us? Because we do definitely read our emails, including ones about hairbrushes.
Yeah, we actually got offered a brand deal. We're not going to name the brand because we didn't take the brand deal.
Dodgy as fuck.
It looks like a scam. It went to
But
our junk
if
mail.
anyone wants to pay us to promote some stuff that isn't,
We will
problematic,
promote stuff that is actually good and
if
film
we'd
related
use
or
it,
sport related.
if we'd use it, we'd promote it. That's rule of thumb.
Yeah, obviously we care about our fans so much that we would never accept something
also
that
care about
we
money.
wouldn't want.
Yeah, we also care about money. So
No, we just want free stuff that isn't a hairbrush, really.
yeah,
Anyway,
true.
email floodlightpod@gmail.com.
Perfect. We'll be back next week. We're kind of two for two this year, so we're doing well with our episodes. But until then, keep watching, keep consuming, and adios.